What's up, everybody? What's up? It's another episode of Top Five Live. Once again, I almost said a Stoke podcast. You muted, man. I can't hear you. Well, whatever. So it's me, Javon Stokes, Visually Stoked Media, and on to my left, right, whichever way you're looking, I got Danny Quick, who clearly must be talking to somebody else and got me on mute, but that's okay.
We in the
He's
building. I'm
here.
in here.
We are in the building. We're in the building. Morgan is late because Morgan doesn't respect our time. That's clearly what it is. He just doesn't respect our time. You know, God forbid he does things he's supposed to be doing. But that's all right. We gonna keep it rocking. Today's list. Go ahead.
You know, black folks. Somebody gotta be late, bro.
I mean,
Somebody gotta
listen,
be late.
somebody always late, man. It's always late.
We gotta fulfill the stereotype every now and then. So.
Every now and then, it's like every week. It's either you or Morgan. I'm the
you,
only one that
clearly
cares about time.
You be on time, bro.
I'd be the only one that respect people's time. What can I say? I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you about Danny and Morgan.
I'd never ask y'all to delay the show for me though. Well, not this show. My other show maybe, but not this one.
You be late to your other show?
All the time, bro. Not usually, but like I was this past week, we had a guest on, but the guest was having technical difficulties, and I was running back and forth trying to run some errands before the show was just a little bit late. So,
okay, all right. Well, today's list is top 5 bucket list choices. So this one is a little more personal. So it's not like best. It's just like what are our top 5 things that we want to do on our bucket list. I think it's gonna be interesting. Mine's is like a mix of like almost traditional bucket list stuff and like career goals.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just but we're gonna get a little personal today. We want to hear everybody's bucket list because we want to learn more about y'all too. But before we get to that, we talk a little pop culture. So, Danny, what you want to talk about? We got 3 things.
We gotta start with the huge announcement that just happened.
Okay.
With I wish we had the video, but Ryan Reynolds posted on all of his social media. I saw it on TikTok, but I know he posted on Instagram and Twitter, and I saw even Rob Liefeld posted about an hour ago about Deadpool 3 has been announced for 2 years from now, 2024, the fall of 2024. And they are bringing back Hugh Jackman as Wolverine for Deadpool number 3. So that's super exciting. How do you feel about that?
I am super confused because last we saw he was dead, and spoilers, whatever. What up, Morgan? Finally got here on time, on that CP time. you muted.
I'm not even. Nope.
That's all right. I mean, there's nothing you can say. Anywho, but I'm trying to figure out. I'm wondering if they're gonna do this movie. Yeah, Kyron. Yep. I'm wondering if they're gonna do this movie like almost outside of the MCU, like a multiverse movie. I'm trying to figure out how this is gonna work.
Yeah, it's gotta be. I mean, like, if it can't be main MCU timeline if Hugh Jackman is playing Wolverine, because that means that Wolverine has been around for a very long time, and people just, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and in 2 years, I mean, maybe that would make sense in 2 years, because there's a lot of movies coming out in 2 years. Let me look real quick and see which all movies are coming out.
Off the top of my head, next year is Ant-Man, Spider-Man, I think. Spider-Man.
I know Black Panther's coming out.
Black Panther, Ant-Man, Black Panther. What else?
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. They got the Guardians of the Galaxy coming out.
Guardians. That's 3. Wait, I thought Guardians was this year.
Is that this year?
I don't know. No, I can't remember.
I know they're doing a holiday special, but I don't know if they're doing
this year.
Guardians is what?
Black Panther is the last Marvel movie this year.
Yeah, they're doing a holiday special for Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's like a TV show.
What's Black Panther's date? I thought Black Panther was next year.
November? No, it's November 11th. It's like November
Oh
11th or
wow,
something like that.
sheesh! I didn't realize it was like around the corner.
Yeah, and that's why we're saying like they not showing. They haven't shown a lot for this Black Panther movie. So
as they should.
yeah,
I mean, they already spoiled who becomes Black Panther. So
did they?
it's,
Well,
yeah,
don't tell
they
me.
spoiled it. It got spoiled.
Well, don't tell me.
Oh, did they spoil it or did somebody else spoil it?
Somebody else.
They no the toys like they they always do show the toys
Oh,
like
the
ahead
toys
of
always be
time.
giving stuff away, but
Yeah, the
you know
toys
that
spoiled it.
I think I'm like, how do they not? I mean, and I understand you got to get these toys produced way ahead of time, so you kind of can't keep that stuff secret, but it seems like they
Disney
were.
can't be that stupid.
You said what?
Yeah,
Disney can't be that stupid. I don't believe that.
They
nah,
spoiled. Yeah, they
they've been
spoiled No
the
Way
toys.
Home.
Well, this is something that they've done
Yeah, that's not new.
every movie, like every movie for the past 10 years or something like that. The toys always come out first because they have to design them, they have to package and ship them, and there's so many people that touch them before they get to the stores that and they have to do like they do tie-ins with McDonald's and Happy Meals and all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah, but how do you, as secretive as Disney is, notoriously, how do you get away with?
But they spoiled.
Nah, I didn't have time for cornbread, Kyron. I wish I did have some though.
They spoiled. They spoiled stuff from No Way Home. They
Yep.
spoil stuff for Doctor Strange. They spoil
They
stuff
spoiled the
for
suits
Ragnarok.
they
They
spoiled the
spoil
suits
all
from
the
No Way
time, dude.
Home. They
It's just,
spoiled, yeah.
it's
lame.
it is what it is.
Nobody should tell me unless you just don't want to be friends anymore.
I almost
Yeah,
said
this
it.
is see, and I'm
almost
always, I'm team spoiler alert, but I only spoil stuff that's out. Like I only talk about stuff that's out and has
You
been
better
out
not
for
tell
long
me.
enough to see it. I don't spread,
I'll legit not
conjecture
talk to whoever
and
tells me, bro.
What'd you
I'm not
say?
even joking. I said I'll legit cut somebody off for spoiling stuff for me. I have
I block people.
I have a
block
less
people on
than low
social media all the
tolerance.
time for that.
I have a less than low tolerance for that because it's not funny, it's not cool, it's not anything like that to me. I hate spoilers, so if somebody spoils something for me, like and it's something I'm excited to see, I ain't effing with you for quite
To
some
be
time.
fair, like the individual who spoiled it, it was out there.
I don't
It was
care.
out there.
I don't want to know.
Anywho, we'll stay off that, and we'll. So I just think the
So-
Deadpool. I'm really interested to see how the Deadpool goes, though.
So apparently, Deadpool 3 is slated for September 6th, which will be right before the Fantastic Four movie, which is November 2024.
I'm
I mean, we
surprised they
already
haven't
saw
even.
this shouldn't be a surprise though. We already saw. We know the mutants are here. We know they've been here. We just saw that in Doctor Strange. Like that's clear. So Hugh Jackman being in it makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, but it don't make sense to if
it's
you're gonna
huge
do
fan service.
if you're gonna do X-Men again, and Hugh Jackman has already been like, yeah, I ain't doing this forever.
Yeah,
Like, I'm pretty sure they're gonna want a new Wolverine
They could
at some point.
They could, but again, the benefit that Marvel has for these movies is that it is this literal whole run is about a multiverse and going back and forth in time. That's a huge benefit. It's a huge one because like the thing that made Spider-Man so incredible is because we spliced 3 different Spider-Mans into one movie. It was you can't top those the only movie I can think of Marvel wise that can top those moments is Endgame. Other than that, I don't know that anything tops that. That crap was incredible.
Avengers was pretty good.
The first
Like
one,
we forget the moments in Avengers.
I don't forget.
I'm
I
just
don't
saying,
forget.
like, we forget the
Avengers.
moments. I know we have had stuff that has given us moments before, but that first with them all together, Hulk talking about I'm always angry, like literally that entire end sequence was
that
like
crap was
scene
awesome.
after scene after scene. So I mean, you don't like the phrase, but recency bias can be strong with you sometimes.
And I would not put well, didn't we just do this list? Avengers is not in my top 5. It's not in my top. It might not be in my top 7 Marvel movies. The first one. Like I
The
said
list
before,
is this
Age
list
of
is
Ultron.
always bad.
Age of Ultron is definitely, to me, better than the first Avengers. Definitely.
You're just wrong. You're just objectively wrong when
You
it
just
comes to.
decided to be
We've talked
wrong
about
today,
this.
man. Like
We've
you
talked
just
about this several
decided to be
times.
wrong.
Age of Ultron.
You woke up this morning and said, "What is the most wrong thing I could say today?"
I mean, listen,
And
if that's how
what
y'all
came
feel,
out.
I'm just saying for me personally,
I
I
like
can't
Age of
speak for everybody
Ultron
else.
too, but
Age of
I love
Ultron.
the first
But you
hour of
also
Age of
know,
Ultron.
how big of how for me the villain of whatever it is usually makes or breaks the story for me. And I have never liked Loki as a villain at any point.
Ultron was
I've
too
never felt
smart.
threatened. I've never felt threatened by Loki ever. I've never thought he was
No,
dangerous.
yeah, but that's not
I've
what we're
never
talking about. If you ask him which was a better film, Avengers 1 is generally considered a better film
why.
because it's a
Avengers
better
1 because
film.
it's almost a perfect
Like literally, it's almost
ensemble film.
yeah.
All right.
Billionaire, like Tony Stark versus Captain America, like that the stuff that they started there, they on like Hawkeye being like so menacing during like Hawkeye's the one that
Hawkeye
took
was a
y'all out.
straight
Like
sniper, dude. Just
Hawkeye was
taking
the one
people
that
out.
straight took y'all out. Come on now. And
What's
then
wrong with
I
Roman,
mean,
bro?
The Hulk smashing
you know,
Loki, man,
folks,
come
yeah,
on, man.
man.
Yes, that was one of the funniest moments in
When he
history
punched
of Marvel.
Thor, when they was come on, man. Come on, man.
God.
They kept a lot of that stuff together, man. But Ultron,
I like
again,
Age of Ultron, but it ain't have as many moments.
I love the first hour of Ultron. We've talked about this, but Ultron was too smart to be doing all that stupid stuff that he did in the last 30 minutes of that movie. And I was
Being
like, yo,
being
they
smart can make you
literally
very zealous.
not Ultron.
That's
They
I was not
literally
expecting this hot
made
take
him.
from Morgan today.
They
This
made
is the
him.
first time I said that.
I've never heard you say that
Ultron
before.
should have be. If
I've
Age of
definitely said it.
Ultron, yeah, he's definitely said it on the
I
I've
don't
show.
said it
remember.
this whole time.
Maybe I
He's
don't
been
Never
wrong
remember.
changed.
every time.
Yeah, it's never
He's been
changed.
wrong every time. And I recently rewatched Age of Ultron, and I even messaged Morgan while I was watching. I was like,
You
"Yo,
say,
the
but what did
first
you say?
hour
You
of this
said
movie is perfect. The first hour of
yes,
that movie is
but
perfect."
but the only gripe that you have with the movie and why it's not a perfect movie is because
It's
Ultron didn't get the body.
the whole climax. No,
That's
the
it.
whole climax of the movie is terrible.
You said because he didn't
Everything.
get the body.
No, I said because he gave up on his entire. He literally spent the whole first hour of the movie trying to build this body, and then when he had the chance to grab the body, he instead grabbed Scarlet Witch and takes her to Sokovia to lure the Avengers. When they took the vibranium body that he's been like,
That's
no,
not really what happened, though. That's not really what
That's what I
happened.
said.
it's literally
But that's not
what
what
happened.
happened. He only caught Scarlet Witch because her legs were hanging off.
He's flying. The man is flying. He
And the
can
jet
grab.
took off as
He
soon
could
as
have grabbed either one. He
it
could have grabbed
took
either
off
one of
as
them.
soon as that.
No, but it didn't though, because he was still sitting there saying, "Does anybody see what was her name? Does anybody see Widow? Does anybody see Widow?" He's still sitting there in the jet, waiting to leave.
We done made Morgan leave.
We've had this conversation so many times. I'm just
listen,
saying.
I can't speak for your conversation, but I'll say this. I like Age of Ultron because it really is kind of like the only Avengers movie where they are the Avengers from start to finish. Like that's really one of the things I like about it. But as for the movie in and of itself, it is Avengers is like almost flawless. Like you can nitpick it if you want, but
the way they brought the Avengers one, the one thing that sticks out to me is I love how Nick Fury, like each person he recruited in a different way, right? So
yeah.
So when they went to get Iron Man, they brought all this technology. They opened up the suitcase. It's got all the screens. He can do all this fun stuff. But when they went and got Cap, they literally just handed him a folder. Like they were like, "Here, this is the mission." Like it's so like they did such a good job putting that movie together, man. It was great. Tell little Javon we said, "Hey." But it was good, man. And but I'm looking forward to it, man. I still say Logan was the like the perfect send off for Hugh Jackman. So if they're bringing him back, I'm hoping that he's a big part of this movie, and not just some cameo appearance. Because I think
No,
that
you
would be
can't.
wrong.
You can't do that. You can't do that and be like, "Oh yeah, it's a 5-minute cameo." Like,
They can't bring him back.
That would be right.
Bro.
no,
Yeah, he
I
gotta
don't
do
think they do that because I mean, he already did a cameo in the second Deadpool. Technically,
Oh yeah, he did. You're right.
so I mean, you can't drop something like that because if it was just a cameo, they wouldn't even have said nothing.
And they put the slashes. They put the slashes in the logo. He's got to
It's
be
in the logo. Yeah.
It came in on 5 minutes.
Did y'all want to talk about? Go ahead, Danny.
No, I was just gonna say. I think I said in the group. I think that they were gonna announce this during D23, but they probably couldn't get them both there, or something happened. But they, D23 was kind of lackluster. They had some cool stuff, but they didn't have anything huge there. So this would have been huge for D23, and I think they just probably couldn't either get the footage together or something to announce it. So, here we go 2 weeks later, on a random Tuesday.
But everybody talking about it. Like, you just scroll through Twitter and it's literally like, everybody losing their minds.
Everybody loves Deadpool and everybody loves Wolverine, especially Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. So
I like both characters, but I've never been like a big Wolverine fan. I definitely wasn't a big Deadpool. I actually like Deadpool more in the movie than the comic books.
Yeah, we had that conversation about Wolverine. So
yeah, I know Wolverine is kind of boring to me.
Yeah, whatever.
Listen, man, if you gonna drop hot takes, I can drop a hot take.
You said Wolverine is boring?
Kind of boring. Just the character is just kind of boring to me.
Whatever, man.
It's not bad. Like, I don't think he's a bad character. Like,
whatever, man.
I look at him like I look at Batman. Like, I'm kind of tired of you both.
I can get with that, but as boring Wolverine, I don't think Wolverine was boring. I think Wolverine was one of the more of the ground level characters. He was one of the more exciting ones.
I take Daredevil over him any day.
Who?
Nah.
Daredevil. Daredevil's a way better character.
Daredevil comics? You'll take Daredevil in the comics over Wolverine in the comics?
Absolutely.
Yes. I would take Daredevil in the I would absolutely take Daredevil in the comics over Wolverine, but not
Daredevil in the TV show. Excuse me. No. The Daredevil TV show has been a better translation than the Wolverine in the movie.
It's a better translation. Yes, I agree with you. It's a better translation.
I enjoy it. Honestly, the Daredevil TV show is better than the X-Men movies. I even say that. I got no problem saying that.
The Daredevil TV show is one of the best TV shows of comics.
Better than the movies, dude.
You said the Daredevil TV show was better than the X-Men movies?
Yes.
Better than Days of Future Past.
I can agree with that.
Absolutely.
I could agree with that.
I disagree.
The Daredevil series, the Daredevil series that was put on Netflix is one of the best comic shows, period, without question. It can't, if it's not in your top 5, it's because you're.
If it ain't in your, honestly, it's top 3 and it ain't 2 or 3.
I don't disagree. I don't know.
Yeah, I do think it has to be in your top 3 too. For sure.
If it ain't 3. If it's in your top 3, it ain't 3. That's all I'm saying.
It definitely should be in your top 3 too. But it definitely has to be
tell me what X-Men movie was so great. Tell me a great X-Men movie.
I say Days of Future Past. I mean, it's my personal.
There was so
favorite.
much.
Days of Future Past is my favorite. I mean, but
Logan,
in the parameters of what they were trying to do,
we haven't had a good in my opinion, we haven't had a great X-Men movie yet. X-Men 2 is not good. Don't do that to yourself, man. Like, y'all really got to go back and watch some of these movies, man.
At the time.
Because you said that the Age of Ultron. You said Age of Ultron was better than Avengers 1. That's why he's like, you need to go correct.
Hey, bro, we could argue about that another time. But
we have not seen a great X-Men movie yet. We've seen
Logan.
That's not an X-Men movie.
Logan wasn't technically an X-Men movie, but
it's not an X-Men movie.
Okay, never mind.
That's not an X-Men movie.
You mean with a full cast? I got you.
like a real X-Men movie. Every
Like
movie,
the team of
Cyclops,
X-Men.
Jean Grey, and them have to be in it.
yes, we have yet to see an actual
They
movie
got
with a
it. I
team
mean,
of
at least a
X-Men be
team.
good. Nope.
I mean,
I
That's
don't-
why
I
Daredevil.
don't-
That's why Daredevil's hands is better. The show is better.
come on, Scott. Don't start with me, bro.
It's not better. It's definitely not
He's
better
right.
than Logan.
Scott's right
I'd
about
say
that.
it's not better than. I
Better
say
than
Days
what,
of Future
though?
Past, man.
Days of Future Past, like, forget the fact that the Mystique thing bothers me. It always bothers me. Like
Them changing from
that somehow
that they changed it to them chasing her, or
like
for her to be the most
I
important
mean,
member?
once again, like I like my comic book movies to at least be there in spirit with the characters.
Nah.
And none of the X-Men films characters have ever been there in spirit, with the exception of Wolverine, Professor X, and Magneto. That's it. Everybody else is all over.
That's
the
why
damn
those
place.
three are the. But that's again.
Out of what? Out of what?
I think we don't have a lot of
eating cat
food on the bucket list.
Who is that, Kevin? No, Kevin.
I don't know. Is this a troll account?
I have no idea, dude.
I feel like we're being trolled.
No.
Literally, their name is eat they cat food. Like,
nah, that's a bot. Is that a bot? No, no, Mr. Bot. No.
That's what I'm wondering. I didn't even finish my. Well, I'm gonna have to finish it live, literally, because I don't even. That was hard for me, and I got too busy to even,
All right, we'll give you a second. Did y'all want to talk about the Ime Udoka thing?
I just want to know how you think it's going to affect the season.
It's a indefensible offense. You cheated on Nia Long, sir.
Did he?
You know,
did he though?
I don't need to know nothing else.
He did.
You cheated on Nia Long, sir.
He did.
And then the chick that you cheated with is the one that moved her up there with you. He is
what? They released it. They released who it was.
They information's come out.
Information has become very much so readily available, and Nia has spoken herself about said situation.
Oh,
she's asked for prayers for what she's going through at the moment.
I don't know if it's going to affect the season.
Starts and ends there.
I mean, he's a good coach. I don't know how good this other dude is, so I can't really tell you.
Man,
I just think as a man, I have to question his intelligence. Like
you cheated on Nia Long.
Forget Nia Long. Like
no.
Hold on, no. Wait, just for a second. Stop. Just put Nia Long to the side for a second.
That's not possible.
Hold on. No, just hold on. You got a job. Like you get your first coaching position. This is your first coaching position. You excelled so good that you went to the finals.
Got all the way to the finals.
All the way you were probably within 5 minutes of going up 3-1 in the finals. Like they were.
They were
up 3 points with 7 minutes to go in game 4.
I thought they were going to win. Y'all remember we talked about it. I thought they were going to win. I thought they were going to win the final.
They literally were up with 7 minutes to go in game 4, and they were already up 2-1. If they would have went up 3-1, it would have been over. But anyway, that's going back. So you almost reached the pinnacle of your profession in your first year, and you couldn't keep it in your pants in the organization. Like you could, I mean, I'm not condoning infidelity, but you could have had sex with any other woman outside of the Celtics organization, and you chose the VP of Finance's wife.
Yeah, he chose somebody's wife at that. Once that came out, I said, "This dude is weird."
Like,
don't get it twisted. I understand stuff happens, right?
VP of Finance, like the person that pays people. The person that pays the people?
It was somebody's wife. An executive's wife is who he was sleeping with.
That's what I heard. It was the VP of Finance. That's what I heard.
Hey, that's
I'm just like,
that's why it was a year. Like when I remember when it came out and we was like, yo, a year? Like a year? That's why.
Well, so for me, I feel like
I get it now.
You either got to do one or two things. You either got to fire him or you give him a small suspension and keep him moving.
He cheated
And
on Nia Long.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay.
But the reason why I'm saying that is because 1 year suspension is kind of like dumb. Like to me it feels like they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. Like we're gonna try this dude, and if he suck, then we're gonna bring you back. But if you don't, then we're gonna fire you.
He could have got hands put on
And
him.
at the same time, I
He
did
really
bring
could've.
up, and I agree with everything you're saying, but I think the fact that
probably
he's black is had something to do with it.
I
wouldn't be surprised.
I haven't seen the other parties involved, but
I'm not gonna
But
say
then-
that because the man cheated on Nia Long. But
You know what's
also,
funny? There's a lot of people who are like that I've seen respond to that. They're like, "Who is Nia Long? Who is Nia Long? Like, what does
I'll
it
find
matter?"
her.
Like, I've just seen a lot of them.
That's
yeah, Twitter. The other demographics might not know that. That's perfectly reasonable. But
no, it's not.
Listen, man. Halle Berry's wife cheated.
They ain't
on her,
watching.
man.
They ain't watching.
Yeah, Eric Benet cheated on Halle Berry.
Eric Benet
too.
cheated on Halle Berry. I mean,
it's
all
still
these beautiful
inexcusable.
women
It's still
probably get
inexcusable.
cheated on. It's just, man.
That's a fact. But you see, okay, this is like before I had kids, I used to always say, and I still think somewhat to this degree, you know, my daughter's a senior in high school. It's one thing to do something you ain't had no business.
Jay cheated on Bay.
Don't remind us. Okay. It's one thing to that's irrevocable too. Like that's just that I had to stop my whole thought process. What, Nadia?
When you say, but when you say that, you know, people don't know who she is. I mean, like, what's her most famous movie? Love Jones. Like
Love Jones is probably the one that people know her best. So it'd be between Love Jones. I think Love Jones or
In Too Deep.
She Was in the Wood. Not the Wood.
She was in Friday. Friday is probably Friday is probably her most widely known role.
God dog, what is not the Wood? The Best Man.
The boy.
She was in The Best Man.
Best Man, yeah. But these are all black movies. They're just saying, like, Friday is the only one that has any type of crossover.
You cheated on Nia Long.
Well, you know, it's true. Like a lot of people, you know, it's two Americas. So people are like, who's Nia Long? Like,
yeah,
that's true because I just told somebody the other day, like they were making a comparison between She-Hulk, the type of comedy that's in She-Hulk and Seinfeld, and I was like, I've never seen one episode of Seinfeld. So
you've never seen one episode of Seinfeld?
No,
Seinfeld's
I've never seen one episode of Seinfeld. I've never seen one episode of Friends.
Nadia, why are you coming at her like that, yo? B-list black actress? Dang, man.
I've never seen one episode of either show.
She ain't no B-list. She's an A-list black actress.
I'm not even responding to that, Nadia. You know better than that.
I mean, she is B-list though. It ain't like
I wouldn't call her.
She ain't Viola Davis. She's not Viola Davis.
Who's Viola Davis?
Viola Davis, isn't she an Oscar winner? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Viola Davis
is a different level. Viola Davis is a different level, man. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Viola Davis is an
you call Sanaa Lathan B-list? Would you call Sanaa Lathan B-list?
Exactly. Is Sanaa Lathan B-list?
Is she B-list because she's only in black movies, or she does predominantly black movies? That's my question.
I can't think of a Sanaa Lathan movie that.
Wow, Nadia.
That would have some that
what
would
you
be
mean? What?
That would go outside of
this chick was in $100 million movie. Sanaa Lathan was in Aliens versus Predator. What are you talking about?
Alien versus Predator is literally Jada Pinkett is probably A-list, but
how
besides Love and Basketball, all right. So for Sanaa Lathan, besides Love, but I don't think Jada Pinkett is A-list because of her actual film roles, though. I mean, she was in The Matrix.
Okay, so she get credit for The Matrix, but Sanaa don't get credit for Aliens versus Predator.
Is Queen Latifah B-list?
Are you comparing the success of The Matrix to Alien versus Predator?
Well, let's see. Let me put it to you this way: Sanaa Lathan was the actual star.
It is A-list.
Hold on. Sanaa Lathan was the actual star of Aliens versus Predator. Jada was a supporting cast member.
Who do you think more people saw
What are you talking about?
in those two roles? Who do you think more people saw in those two
Aliens
roles?
versus Predator was a successful film, dude. What are you talking about?
The successful, but it was not the Matrix
it's
2
not the
successful,
Matrix, though.
sir.
I'm not saying it's the Matrix, but I'm talking about
That's what I'm asking
I'm
you.
talking
I'm saying,
time
who
out.
do you think more
But
people
I'm talking
saw?
about
That's
like
what he asked,
Alien,
though.
okay, let
Aliens
me
versus
ask you this
Predator,
question. Whose
or
name was higher on the graphic for the posters
that
for
does,
their
that does not
respective
matter,
films?
sir.
It does
That does
matter.
not
What are you
matter.
talking about?
No,
That
it
absolutely
doesn't.
matters.
No, it does. It depends on how many people saw it. Like if Heat is in a copy of the X-Men as a star, if he's a secondary character in a copy of the X-Men, okay, but then also he's the starring character in Heat, but X-Men gets sells 1 million copies. More people are going to see him.
Hold on. Alien
in
vs.
the
Predator
X-Men
made
book.
177 million. All right.
Really?
177 million.
Boiler Room.
Mhm.
I don't even know if I've seen Boiler Room.
I bet you people don't even remember Jada was in.
I don't know. I think for me, when I think of Nia Long in movies, it's the Best Man comes to my mind immediately.
She's in mostly
Friday.
black films though. Like that's
Yeah,
I
of
mean,
course. I'm not trying to put her in the A list. I'm not doing that. But she's still like that's Lisa, bro. Like you can't cheat on Lisa.
I
Didn't
mean,
you
she
learn-
like her.
didn't
She
you
was
learn
in
from
what?
Will?
Friday, Love Jones, Soul Food, The Best Man Holiday, Big Mama's House. She was in Empire for a second. She was on NCIS Los Angeles. She's on Third Watch. I mean, you know, I'm trying to find the most successful film she was in, and it was probably The Best Man Holiday when you think about it.
That's why I said it's got to be one of the Best Man movies. Like The Best Man is the first movie that comes to my mind when I'm thinking Nia Long.
Still, I think these are
Movie.
white films.
As a movie, that's the first thing that comes up. But I mean,
That's her. I would say that was her biggest. Hold on, he
I
would
think
likely.
her role on The Fresh Prince might even be bigger than that.
No, it's probably the one that most people.
I think that's what people would know her from.
Non-Black America remembers her by.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So
that's what I'm saying. Like, what would you say would be Jada's most memorable role though?
Set It Off.
Set it off for the Matrix 2.
Honestly,
No.
I don't think I don't think the Matrix. I think most people be like, "Oh yeah, she was in the Matrix."
People know she was in the Matrix, but
yeah, but they
Set
ain't
It
like,
Off. She had a solid
maybe Nutty
role on
Professor.
Set It Off.
Nutty
Maybe
Professor.
Nutty
Yeah,
Nutty
maybe
Professor for sure.
maybe Nutty Professor
for sure.
Yeah. Wait,
That
I think
was huge.
it'd be Set It Off and Nutty Professor for sure.
Set it off for Nutty Professor.
all right, y'all want to do the list? I mean, we could talk about Ime being an idiot for a while, but you know.
We ain't gonna talk about Dahmer?
We
I
can.
mean, if you want to, you the one that got to leave.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all know how I do. I mean,
So go on and do your list.
Oh,
then,
she had Woo. Y'all remember Woo?
I did like Woo, but that ain't that.
Ooh.
I don't think that made. Did it make back his budget? That's a good question.
That's a good question.
I'm not trying to diss it. I'm just saying, like, I don't remember it.
It's a solid question. I don't know. I know I saw it. I don't think I saw it in theaters though, because I was probably.
I don't want to say it on. I don't want to say it over. I don't want to say
probably 7 at the time, but
it was. I liked it. I actually just watched Woo last year, or was it this year? Earlier this year?
I ain't seen that in a minute.
That was the finest movie. She was the finest she ever been.
But we did watch. But we did watch The Sixth Man, which was better than I remember.
Here we go on the 6 man thing.
It was better than I remember. That's all I can say. Oh, Jada, she was in Ali with Will Smith.
She was in Ali. That's right. That's right. Remember, she was his wife. She was one of his wives.
Oh, okay.
She wasn't like the main wife in the film, but she was one of the wives in this film.
Low Down Dirty Shame. I remember she was in that. That was hilarious.
But you know, like I said, there's two Americas. Because like you talk to black people about all these roles.
And we know them all.
We know them, but you talk to white people or other non-black people. And
they know her as Will Smith's wife. That's what they would know her as primarily. for sure.
But you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't cheat on Nia Long, but I wouldn't cheat on my
She
wife.
might be more famous for the Red Table Talks than any movie that she's been in. To be
I would
honest,
argue she's more famous for being Will Smith's wife.
She's more famous
Yeah.
for being Will Smith's
Yeah.
wife.
I don't mean that as
Especially
a
after the
diss.
slap.
I don't mean it as a diss. I'm just
The
saying
way you
Will
said it
Smith
sounded
is
like a
like
diss.
no. I'm
No,
just saying
I
Will
mean
Smith
we're
is
talking about the Two Americas thing.
Will Smith is like that dude, and he's her wife. I mean, he's her husband, and
Yeah, for sure.
She's such and such. What's the son's name? Why I can't remember her son's name.
Sorry, Jaden.
Jaden. She's
Who's her?
Jaden's mom. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
her kids are, successful too. So I mean,
Yeah.
anyway. All right, so we gonna do this top 5 bucket lists. So this is your list of things that you want to do on your bucket list. All right. So we about to do that. Are you still doing your list? Is that why you making all them faces, Morgan?
Yes. I mean, I have 4, but the 5th one I'm gonna have to come off the top. I don't know.
Danny, you want to go?
Oh, I'll go.
So everybody, feel free to put your list in the chat section. Get to know a little bit about you.
Yeah, mine's is a lot, more personal too. But I think the things that I want to accomplish before I die are all like real like personal goals. But some of them are, like stuff that anybody could do. So number 5 is skydiving. Okay. Now, as a black man, this is the one thing that I would be like, but I think that would be like an event. Like if me and Tiana got to go skydiving, that would be dope. So
Does Tiana want to go skydiving?
I don't know. But that's just one in my brain, and I'm like, yo, that would be something so far out of both of our comfort zones that we would never forget it.
Okay.
Number 4, I want to research my lineage, I want to research my history, like my bloodline, where I came from, stuff like that. I think that'll be cool before I die. Number 3, I want to be considered the best in the world at something. Whether it's basketball or writing comics, whatever it is, whatever the thing is, I want to be considered the best at something. You know what I mean? It can be basketball. I still got game.
No.
Number 2, I want to learn another language. Most likely Hebrew. I want to learn Hebrew.
Why Hebrew?
I want to be fluent because I want to read. I want to read the original, text of the Bible. Like I feel like there's a deeper meaning when you read the original, the original way it was written.
You can get Young's literal translation. That helps sometimes. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to interrupt.
And then number 1, I just want to leave a legacy. Like before I die, I want to leave behind something that is more impactful than me. Like I want to leave something that my kids and my kids' kids can have, because I started it. So that's it. That's my list.
That's nice. That's a good one. That's a good one. Interesting about the Hebrew thing, but I see that's a very Christian answer.
I'm just
for
a long time.
I'm just messing with
you. But legit, like I mean, my faith is a big part of when you die, you want to go to heaven. So I think I would have a deeper appreciation for the our religious scriptures if I learned and read the original. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to read it for myself. I'm not a hear it from somebody else type of person. Mostly, I listen to pastors and preachers and everybody, but I want to, really read it for myself. So,
okay, all right. I do my list for him. So Morgan looks like he's still thinking.
He deep in thought.
Yeah, I know. You see the smoke. Smoke coming up.
Got the vein in his head.
The vein just throbbing right there. All right.
I got 5 now, but it could change. That's how bucket list work anyway. So,
all right. Here we go. Top 5 bucket list. Like I said before we got on the show.
Baby? Yeah, I did.
Mine's is a little. It's like personal and professional at the same time. I like your last one, Danny, about leaving a legacy. Like if I do it all over again, I probably would throw that in, but I'm not gonna do that. I won't cheat. So number 5, travel to Africa. I've always wanted to go. There's so many, places within Africa I would like to visit. Even though I know you got to do so much to go there, like getting shots and all that other crazy stuff. That don't sound too nice for me, but whatever. I'd like to go to Africa. Egypt, all that. Go to Egypt within, there and do all that stuff. So anyway, yes, travel to Africa. Number 4, I'm with you, Danny. Skydive. I had an opportunity. I had an opportunity to do it in college, but I didn't have the money. I didn't have the money to do it. I didn't have the money. And I felt like asking my mom for money to go skydiving wasn't going to go well. Like I felt like she would have been like, "Yeah, I'm not giving you money for that."
Nah, bro, you in school.
But yeah, like it was actually through the school. Like the school sponsored it. So like a few of my friends went and they're like, "Oh man, it was so great." And I was just like, "Man, I would love to do that." So yeah, skydive. One of these days. Emmanuel, man, don't come here with that. Stop cursing. Number 3, I want to travel to Europe and specifically would really be cool. And this is together, but have dinner at the Eiffel Tower. What, you did that already?
Yeah, me and Tiana did that. And it was solid too. Like it's an experience.
I know. I know. I believe my wife and I were supposed to go on a trip. We were supposed to travel through Europe, but then Tanika got pregnant. Like we had it planned and had everything, and then she got pregnant, and then she would have been. I think the trip was in like August, and she would have been too far along, so we couldn't do the trip. So it just never happened. But eventually, I'd like to do that. I'd like to travel to Europe, specifically to have dinner at the Eiffel Tower. That's number 2. I want to be a Times best-selling author.
That's a good one.
It's something that I would love to have on my resume.
Do they have that for comics, or is it?
No, I want to write a book. I'm going to write a book.
Nice. What would your book be?
I got 2 ideas. I try not to talk about them too much.
How to Lose to My Little Brother Morgan. Perfect title. You should definitely.
You got one.
How to Lose.
You got one. You see how he got one? He's real quiet.
You know what I'm saying?
The last 2-3 weeks when I was just racking up wins.
I'm just giving you titles.
I'm just saying though. But I do have a fiction and a nonfiction book in my head. 2 different books in my head that I'm going to put to paper. When I get a chance, really. But I'd love to be a Times best-selling author. I think you can be a Times bestseller with graphic novels.
What up, Aaron? How you doing? Sorry, I won't interrupt you.
No, you're good.
Making sure.
And then let's see. Number 1, I want to write, direct, and produce a movie.
Nice.
It's something I always want to do.
Write, direct, and produce the same movie.
Yeah,
or you want to write one?
Yeah, like how I do my comic book. I want to write it, direct it, put it on there. So, yeah,
you want to get your Oprah. You want to get your Spike Lee on.
Yeah, man. One of my dreams is to win an Oscar for direction. Yeah. To win a best film.
When I win mine, I'll dedicate.
You let me borrow it.
No, I just dedicated. He's
dedicated.
That'll be
like, hey, this is for you, Javon. You'll get here one day. One day.
Javon, you remember that time you told
keep trying. You keep trying, sir.
I got it right here, bro.
I got it right here. If I were to win one, I would consider that me being the best at something. So I'd be like, hey, Javon, we made
it. We did it. You ain't do nothing, but we made it.
This is for you.
Hey man, I'm gonna let you come over and look at it, son. I'm gonna let you
come on to the house. You can hold it. This is
but yeah, that's my 5. That's my 5.
All right. So I was able to bang them other ones out. I'm very, very excited about this list actually. All right, so my number 5 is travel to space. My number 5 is travel to space.
That's number 5.
Yeah,
I know
they're starting.
That's a big number 5, man.
They're starting to make commercial trips possible, and I definitely would love to go and see it. I want to go. I want to go and leave and leave outside of the atmosphere and be able to look back down at the earth. Like I can't imagine how incredible that is. I can't imagine how
I got
incredible.
no desire to leave the earth, man.
Huh?
So you can be sure that the earth is round?
I'm already fully aware. But
I got no desire to go to some place where I can't depend on the oxygen supply. Like no,
like the oxygen supply is cool in here where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? But travel to space is number 5. Because I like I said, it's very similar. Like when I went on my first cruise, I've only been on one cruise, but I was always scared to go on one because I was like, bruh, I am not trying to be out in the middle of the water and this freaking boat start leaking and y'all niggas talk about like getting on a lifeboat. I'm not getting on a freaking lifeboat. You know what I'm saying?
That's easier than space. At least you can swim.
Something
happened in space.
I'm trying to work up to this.
Bro, I can literally drift on some plywood, some of the wreckage. What you gonna do?
I was trying to work.
If it's a crack in the hull, it's over.
I was trying to work up to you so you would understand. Before I went on the cruise, I was very afraid of going on a cruise, so it was a fear thing of me getting over that. That was number one. But the biggest thing I was looking forward to on the cruise was getting to the place in the middle of in the ocean somewhere where I couldn't see any land anywhere because I couldn't imagine it. I'm like, bro, I cannot imagine. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine. Like you can imagine it, kind of, but it's still a different experience to see it and be a part of it and to have that moment. And that's what it would be for space. Like that's a past a once in a lifetime experience. Like people don't do that, and a lot of people that might even think to would be too afraid to. And I believe I could get myself to go and do it because it's something that when I went on a freaking catamaran in Punta Cana, oh my god, I was horrified. You know what I'm saying? So I know, and that was completely worth it, even though I was scared the entire time. But space would be even above that. So that's my number 5. Number 4, y'all gonna laugh, but I'm dead serious. Being invited as a friend to the Rock Nation brunch. I would lose it. I would lose it, bro. Like, and here's why.
What if you're not invited as a friend? What if you just invited?
I would still be honest.
To be as a friend. Okay.
The reason I put the friend in there. The reason I put the friend in there is because one of the biggest reasons I want to go is because of the networking.
Hey, Morg, when I get my invite, I got you.
I'm gonna send you some selfies.
The networking of successful Black Americans to pull this off and the conversations that take place in those rooms just on a friendship level alone is unfathomable. Because I am so sure that they talk about things that they have already put in motion or are getting ready to put in motion that can help not just the people around them, but Black Americans, Black people everywhere. And to be in those rooms, being a part of that process with people that all of us can make it happen, I can't think of anything that would be more dope. And I get to meet Beyonce like in the face, like right, she's right here. You know what I'm saying? I get to shake her hand. Rihanna, Jay-Z, like people I look up, Tyler Perry, Jordan Peele, all of them in the same spot. Kevin Hart, like all of them right. Dave Chappelle, I would lose my mind. Like there's not many people I would trip for, but that has a collection of people that I'll be like, yo, I'm literally talking to Dave. I'm sitting in a room with Dave Chappelle and these mud just kicking it. And it's because I've done something that contributed to my community and inspired my community in some type of way. And I've done well for myself to be respected among these people at that level, to have them invite me to be here and be a part of this. So that's the reason. That's the reason. That would be unfathomably incredible for me. Number 3, like Javon said, write, direct, and I don't have to produce it, but it would be dope if I did write, direct, and produce my own. I'm talking my own inspirational and very successful film. Like I'm talking about 500 million at box office, or if we do it on Netflix, like we on some Squid Game stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been number 1 for like a month.
500 million.
Yeah,
Ain't
500
no-
million at the box office. You know what I'm
Alien
saying?
versus Predator didn't even make that.
I don't give a crap about that. We dreaming, right? All right.
No,
Well,
absolutely. No,
It
I
was
was
a
just
bucket
joking on
list,
Javon.
though. I thought
I
when I thought
was
bucket
joking on
list, I
Javon.
thought like
hey, listen.
well, so this is when I was saying I thought for a bucket list, it was like, okay, this is something that I can attain,
I can
and
attain
it
that.
doesn't.
I can attain that.
You can't determine how people come out for it, though.
Listen,
Okay,
I
you know
believe. I
what? My
believe.
bad. You know what? My bad.
I
I am
believe.
not trying to
Okay?
be a hater. I got you. 500 million.
I believe.
500 million. I believe too, Morgan. When I hit
uh,
500 million for my film, hey, me and Morgan did it. He ain't do
yeah,
nothing.
exactly.
We
And
did it.
that's what I'm gonna do when I get up there. I'll be like, you remember Javon? You remember episode 60?
Hey, I'm gonna be like this.
I'm be like, you remember
Episode
episode 60 of the show? When
We
I
made
told
it.
you
I'm
I
gonna be
told you
right
we
up
do
there.
500 million.
I'm gonna be right there, dude.
And
The
I
first
appreciate
person
you. Yeah.
clapping.
We'll all be at the same table, you know what I'm saying? With Jay-Z and Beyonce right
We had
here,
the Rock
Tyler
Nation
Perry right here,
we had a Rock
and
Nation party.
Barack Obama and Michelle over here, and Oprah right there. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just gonna be one big love freaking fest of greatness. And we all get to
Hey.
like just chill.
Hey, somebody
know.
had Jay-Z on this show.
Leave.
We go get Hope on the show.
Oh my God, don't do that to me. Anyway.
We get Hope on the Stoke podcast. I got you.
Number 2, make I said make African pilgrimage, but I don't know that that's the right words. 3 places I have to visit before I die: Egypt, Israel, Ethiopia. I would like to do it in all in one trip if it's possible, but if I can't, um, if I can't, I would like to go at the very least. If I have to check one of those off the bucket list and the other 2 I can't have. Nah, if that. If I go to Egypt is number 1, and since I can walk from Egypt to Israel, those 2 I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Ethiopia I might have to plan another time, but I want to go to all 3. Egypt, I probably am going to literally cry when I go to Egypt just because of there's a lot of stuff that I have wrapped up in that trip for me. You know what I'm saying? That's emotional, spiritual, it's all encompassing.
Mom's my mom's birthday just passed, and my little brother was trying to send my mom and dad out there. It didn't happen, but that's something they want to do too. So going out to Egypt and Israel. So that's a solid one.
All right, what's number 1?
Number 1, like Danny said, leave a legacy, not just for my kids, but for I have big ideas for helping the poor and disenfranchised, especially African Americans, in different ways with my wealth. In ways that like almost out of spite, because there are so many because there are so many things that go against us just in mentality by itself, in the system that we live in the world that we live in, that I really feel like if I'm making billions of dollars or millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands, hundreds of millions, if I'm making enough money that I can literally, like, okay, y'all say the black people ain't about ish, they ain't gonna never be about ish. How about I'm gonna buy this whole neighborhood, pay all that off, I'm gonna pay all their bills, we gonna have them live here. I will have somebody living within the community to help show, because people try to make that a black thing, like when you go to the hood and like stuff is dilapidated or whatever. Nah, bro, that's just poor people being poor. I don't care where you go, where poor people are, things being dilapidated, falling apart, looking messy, and all that type of crap is the same story. I don't care what community you go to, but it gets made into being a black thing all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I hate it.
That's the American brand. They think that if you blame it on the blacks, that the neighborhood ain't. And they used to say that too. There goes the neighborhood when black people moved in.
Well,
Exactly.
it's funny because it's not really even, up to black people. It's generally up to the landlords. It's for stuff looking like dilapidated, and landlord or the owner isn't going to put money into it.
They don't put resources into the black communities, and that's not on the people in the community. It's on the people who own stuff in the community. It's so. I'm with you. I want to ask y'all something before I have to go. I got 5 minutes. I posted I had a a, a mini depression yesterday because of this whole hustle as a as a comic book creator, right? Like y'all know me, y'all know I be trying to do everything. Like I be doing hooks out there for everything. I try TikTok, I try, we got an escape room, we got a store, I got comics, we got a podcast. I literally am trying everything that I can think of that I have time for, and I have, you know, um, that I can do to get this dream off the ground, right? And sometimes, it just gets hard, right? It gets very depressing. And I was thinking, like, who can we look to in a community who's done this before, right? Who is the blueprint for success for what all of us are trying to do? Take a black character, basically, it's variations of the same thing. We want to take a character that we created and get them established in the mainstream so that character can then be the cornerstone for whatever else we want to build, right? So we can make a living off of the things that we love doing. And literally the only two examples I could think of were Aaron McGruder with the Boondocks and Dwayne McDuffie, like who are not primarily artists, who are, what I'm saying, who created their own thing from their mind and then got it. He got the Boondocks, who got Static Shock, but that's as far as it went. Not saying that that's not far, because that's a huge accomplishment. But how do we, like, who else is there that we can look to, and who alive can we look to, for inspiration, like for
Do
what
they
we're
need to
trying to
be
do?
black?
No, they don't need to be black, but if
I,
they are,
honestly, I look at Todd McFarlane.
Tommy Farland is a
I
good
look at
one,
Todd McFarlane every
but he's
every
he's again he's an artist though. Like Todd,
Todd writes too though.
yeah, he writes. He does. He writes and creates.
Yeah, but I think
Um,
Danny's coming from this perspective of somebody that doesn't have the skill. Like you have to coordinate or work with somebody else to make your dreams come through, whether it's through writing, directing, or
But then
whatever.
Aaron
We just
Magruder didn't Aaron Magruder draw and write though?
Aaron McGruder, yeah, he drew, but and that's why I say even him to a lesser extent, because he had a bunch of years of Boondocks drawings, just in papers and things, and other things before it even got big. So
I mean,
I mean,
I don't. I'm not. So I'm not sure on the specifics on if you're looking for somebody who does everything. What I can tell you is that there are other individuals who have taken this thing that they made in their head and it's exploded.
mhm,
I obviously I look at black creators and stuff like that. But I look outside, and I try to follow the blueprint of people who aren't black. And I
mhm.
know a lot of people might look sideways at that, but
Sounded
you
racist.
know, I but I look at what they did as a blueprint on how I can move forward, like Todd McFarlane,
Mhm.
Robert Kirkman. I
Yeah,
mean, The Walking Dead is friggin' amazing, uh, Rob Liefeld,
yeah.
like there are people who blazed the trail
That's a
who
lot of industry people though. Like you named a lot of people who you know
who looking
work their
for. I
way
mean,
up through the industry.
right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like when I was reading what you were reading, like you were talking about how it's so hard, and that's why I said my phrase, because I live by it. There's no success without, yeah, I can't pronounce his name,
Grivel, Grivel,
Graveau.
Grivel.
Um, but there's no success without struggle, right?
Yeah,
Like this stuff is going to take time. Like even Aaron Magruder was doing Boondocks for quite a while
yeah,
before the cartoon was even on the map.
for sure.
Dwayne McDuffie was just writing comics for a very
Hmm.
long time before Milestone happened, and then
And then
Milestone took him to another level, and then he took that and went to another level. Like he
yeah,
kept leveling up, but like it wasn't like
and
you know,
even every level was like another grind. Like every
well, it's
like
always another
specifically for
grind.
and no, and I don't I don't shy. I'm not shying away from the work. Like I enjoy the work. I enjoyed that. It's just like somebody commented on a post and said that it's hard when the losses add up. And I'm like, it is like, especially when you don't have the infrastructure or like the community around you. And I know, no, I'm thankful that I got you and Morgan and Wally and people who I know, Brian, like people literally were messaging me like, hey, like snap out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, yo, that's cool. And that's, I'm just saying, like, it does get tough. So
But there's
I
also
think
another saying that I go by, and I keep it in my phone. I screenshot it when I saw it on, I think it was Instagram, and it was like, you 10, 20 years, 10, 20 years in the past would be in awe of where you are right now.
for sure.
And so, like, I think about that all the time. Like, I'm with you. Like, I have my moments of like, man, what am I doing? Like, nobody cares about Heat. Like, what am I
Mhm.
doing? And then, like, I just take a minute and like, it's like, what was it? What movie was it? There was a movie where, like, there's all these things I do. Like, there's a movie where, like, they're like, look, you get 10 seconds and you can let all that emotion flow in you for 10 seconds. When them 10 seconds up, you get up and you do what you got to do.
Mhm.
And so, like,
Oh, I think I know. I think I know what movie you're
you
talking
know,
about.
it's from a movie. I can't remember the movie, but like, I was like, yo, that makes total sense. So, like, anytime I get like there, I'm like,
Gosh, what
okay,
movie is
you
that?
got 10 seconds to be frustrated. You
Yeah,
got 10 seconds to be frustrated, to be depressed, whatever it is, you indulge it for 10 seconds. And then you eat it and then you keep it moving. And
facts.
and so I mean that's what I say. I look at guys like Todd McFarlane. Like I was talking on a Stoke podcast about this maybe 2 weeks ago. How I got burned out from doing heat maybe like 2 years ago. Like I was
Mhm.
burned out, like right around the time of the COVID. And that's when I did strong because I was so burned out from heat. But then I
Mhm.
turned around and I watched it was an Image documentary, and Todd McFarlane. It was either Image documentary or it was Todd McFarlane documentary. But basically, he was like, I made the decision that I was going to put all my energy into Spawn and make the biggest thing that I can ever do. Just total, just insane focus into making it the biggest thing that I had to do. And I literally just I put strong aside and went back to doing heat. And then I came back to finish strong because I had like a half, no, like 75% of a book done, but I'm like 100% in. And sometimes you just need to take a break. That's why, either take the 10 seconds, 10 minutes, whatever you got to do. If you need a day to just like, all right, this is the day that I'm going to be frustrated and depressed. That's your day, but then you got to get up and keep it
Mhm.
going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like it's time, man. Like I know you say you what, 5 years in, 10 years in on this. I mean,
Yeah. About 10 years now.
there are guys that are like 20 years in and they ain't had their big break yet either, man. But they still
Legit.
grinding.
Legit.
Unfortunately, not everybody gets it.
So all right. Before y'all know it's 9 o'clock, so I don't gotta get out of here.
Oh,
But
shut.
before I
I
do,
just put the poll up.
I want to tell y'all, October 1st, the first episode of season 4 of Super
Super
Shorts
Shorts Podcast.
Podcast is releasing. It's been a while since we put out an episode, but this episode is by far the best. This season is by far the best season. And I think it will be well worth the wait. We are dropping on October 1st at 10 a.m. And I think y'all are gonna like it. But everybody that has heard it so far said they enjoyed it, the first episode. So um look out for that. But I'm out of here. I'm about to go lay down and go to sleep. Gotta get up at 4:30.
Why
Peace
are you
out.
getting up at 4:30?
That's the only time me and my wife can go exercise, and then I gotta get to work by 6:30. So up early.
Okay. All right, man.
I'm out of here. Live your dreams.
Um,
I think
I
that's a great conversation to have, man. Like I was early. It was interesting to read like all the responses to what people are saying um to Danny, because just doing comics is not easy, man. You
Yeah.
know,
I mean,
um,
Tyler, I don't remember if he was doing it on his podcast or if it was when he was doing the show somewhere. I was on a panel with him. Um, and I want to say it was when I was on a panel with him, but I can't remember for what. And he, um,
that's a good one.
yeah, it is. Cause that's a personal one too. But, Tyler was saying like, if you are getting into comics to ultimately end up
A
making like
movie
a
or
bunch of
something.
money
Yeah.
on movies or something like that, then you're fooling yourself.
Yep.
And I agree with him. Even though,
Everybody says that though.
even though I think that you have to figure out what your path to what you want is. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, sometimes it comes with you starting in a different medium that then ends you up where you ultimately wanted to go in the first place. You know what I'm saying? And I know. I didn't respond to on the post when he put it up because me, I talk to Danny on a regular basis, so um, and he had so many other encouraging comments. Like I told him a long time ago, like, look, bro, like if I didn't feel like we were gonna make it, like if I didn't feel like we were gonna like do something worthwhile, then I would not have joined you to do this because I didn't know anything about comics. I didn't write no comics. I didn't know comics existed. You asked me to help you come up with this stuff, and I said no multiple times. There's a reason for that. If I didn't feel like it was worth the time or investment, then I promise you I wouldn't be doing it. If I didn't feel like it was going to help leave a legacy, I promise you I wouldn't be doing it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think it's dope that all of us had overlap on our bucket list. You know what I'm saying, for things that we ultimately want to do before we leave
We
here.
actually would have had one more over. I didn't even think about it because I would have said the legacy thing. Like for me, like I was looking at it as like not that to me that was like that's like a
The
overarching thing.
aspiration.
Yeah, like but I would have been like I want Visually Stoked to be a self-sufficient company. Like that's y'all know my vision for what I want for Visually Stoked. I've said it, on here and on my own podcast for multiple time. But I want my son, if my son and my daughters decide that they want to run it, you know, when I'm done or when I'm gone, like I want it to be there and for them to be there. I want it to be making money, long after I'm gone for my kids and my kids and my kids and my kids.
Yeah, no, for me, the big part is, like I said, the leaving a legacy needs to go beyond like the money. You know what I'm saying? Like it needs to go beyond the money. It needs to go beyond my family too. Like, of course, it's gonna start with my family, but kids especially. But I
But
want to
that's
be
my
able.
priority. I get what you're doing, but I'm talking about for me, my priority is that my family and my family's future
Yeah,
is set.
yeah. I
Like
mean, I feel like that's one of the things. Like last week when we did our list, none of us had love on there directly because it's implied. You know what I'm saying?
right, that's why I
Um,
didn't put that. What you guys
exactly.
put the leaving a legacy. That so it's the
Yeah.
flip.
The legacy thing for me, I put it on there because it's bigger than my kids and family. The the majority of the reason that I write period anything is to inspire or spark thought from a perspective, either spark a thought that's from a perspective different from yours to help you see a different angle of something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the
Right.
whole reason I'm willing to have a debate with people because I learn from them. You know what I'm saying? So, and there's a big difference in between a debate and an argument. You know what I'm saying? The argument is just a Johnson measuring contest. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, a debate is just two people coming from two different sides of the same topic, You know what I'm saying? And y'all might be opposed on it at the moment because you might not even see where each other coming from. But then the more you talk, the more you realize, oh snap, we're not actually that far off. But I learned a lot from talking to you. You know what I'm saying? And I am far more interested in learning so that I can evolve and be a better person. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be able to pass that on to other people in all mediums. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm storytelling in any way, I want to put a message out there in some type of way, but sometimes I just want to provoke thought. You know what I'm saying? To help you think about something from a different angle, a different perspective, or something that can help you to be a better person just like me. You know what I'm saying? All of us have blind spots in areas that we don't know what we don't know. You know what I'm saying? And somebody can expose you to it and change your life. And that's the reason why, like, and then the spiteful part of it is, like I said, like, the legacy on that end is, like I've always said, like, one thing that bugs the bejesus, it scars my soul, is seeing like veterans that are struggling at all. Like, that crap blows my stack. I can't stand it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like it because it just shouldn't even be. And I know they have I know they have a plethora of resources out there, um, for them. But to me, that's one of them things that's just like, you can't do enough, really. You know what I'm saying? Because regardless of whether that person was seeing live action and going behind enemy walls and all that type of stuff, regardless of what they were doing, in some capacity, they were putting their life on the line, and you're not. You know what I'm saying? So when they come back home, things should be as easy as possible for them. I'm not saying like they should have literally everything in the world handed to them and served on a silver platter and all that type of stuff. But at the same time, if they have aspirations to go do something, they should have all the resources they need to do it, and they definitely shouldn't be homeless. They definitely shouldn't be struggling for any type of care or anything like that. So for me, like, if I make enough money where I can create type of foundation that has people on the ground that I can trust that are passionate about it, to I can invest my money in getting them a place to live or a job or what, because that's what I'm saying. I'm not interested in just doing something that's just giving you money. I want to do something that's going to be life changingly transformational. Like Warwick Dunn, you talking about a hero for me? Like, when he was still in the league and he's been building these houses, he's been building houses for people, for black mothers, for over 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Changing those people's lives in ways that, I mean, that's untouchable. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's struggling to raise their kids, and you literally gift her a house, no payments. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no mortgage, ain't no none of that. And that's the number one way to build wealth in America, is to own a home. And you gave it to her scot free. That's life change. That's generational. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to change somebody's life in that respect would be the ultimate goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can get this homeless person off the street, but literally change their life from, all right, you got a place to stay, you don't have to worry about it no more. You don't have to worry about these bills. You know what I mean? If you need medical services, we got somebody for you. We'll move your kids in here if they need to be able to help. Whatever we can do to help facilitate that. And the same thing with, disenfranchised people in the hood. Like, we all know, and we've seen it countless times. You got rappers. Rappers, I think, are the easiest thing to reach for. Basketball players are the easiest thing to reach for, to see you go from literally the hood to literally million billionaire and be praised for it, because everybody knows you were in a hard situation. You still made it out. But the point is, if you saw Jay-Z when he was slinging cane, you know what I'm saying, or doing whatever it was that he's told us 50 million times, if you saw him there and you can't see him where he is now, that's how that stuff gets blocked. But there's a whole bunch of Jay-Z's in the hoods across America that don't have those resources. You know what I'm saying? Or they got killed before it happened, or they got put in prison before it happened, or you know what I'm saying? Like, the cure for cancer could be in prison right now, or in the grave. You
Well,
know what I mean?
I mean, me personally, I'd like to. I'm with you on everything, but I would like to show that I've always been a big proponent of showing people that there are other ways, showing Black people that there are other ways to make money that don't involve sports or music.
Agreed. Yep.
Um, like, even and frankly, even being a doctor and being a lawyer, like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like for most African Americans, especially like West Indians, like, those four avenues, people feel like those are the only four avenues you can do: medicine,
Yep.
law, music, or sports. And like there's just so many ways to make money.
I think tech is coming that way now too, though.
I
Or
mean, they don't have a choice. They
artistry
don't
of
have a
some sort.
choice. They don't have a choice. Like with coding and all that other stuff, like that.
Yeah,
Like the opportunities are there's so many opportunities out there, and like people are conditioned. A lot of people are conditioned that these four are it,
yeah,
and if you're not doing these four, you're not making money. Um,
yeah.
like yeah, being an engineer and STEM and all that, like that. A lot of kids don't, and I'm speaking specifically
Or
about kids.
trades too. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with
trades, absolutely.
I agree with Killer Mike heavily on that. Like teaching kids how to use their hands and be able to do with their hands. You'll never forget that. It never grows old,
But
and you'll always need it.
but even then, even deeper, it's what do you want to do? What are you good at? Okay, let's
Yep.
find a way
Yep.
to monetize what you're good at, as opposed
Yep.
to fitting square pegs in round holes. Like
I agree with that.
you know,
I
you
agree with. I'm
you
sorry.
there no
Go ahead.
worries. There are a lot of kids who are good at basketball, but they're great at coding or understanding technology.
Mhm.
All right, listen, man. I know you like basketball. You can play basketball all live long day. Try this out. Like this might get you to the level of life that you want to be at. My cousin Jamari, I think I said it on here, but he said this to me. He said it to me, and then we talked about it on a Stoke podcast, where he was like, he talks to his kids, and he says, what level of life are you looking at? Like, how comfortable do you want to be in life? Do you want to be this comfortable? Do you want to be this comfortable? Or do you want to be this comfortable? Okay, cool. Figure out how comfortable you want to be in life. And then you need to figure out what lane you need to drive in to get to that level of comfort. And like you know what I'm saying? Like Robert's making a point right now. There are plumbers out here that are making money.
Right.
And
Yeah.
these kids a lot of them think, well, I mean, he's a plumber. I'm like, man, listen, like,
But it's also relative based on. So a lot of reasons that people that you have, especially people from the hood, that are chasing after those is because they've seen the big success stories that they've seen are in those places. It's entertainment of some sort, right? And then if we want to go even bigger, we know why it was allowed for entertainment, right? So basketball, you finally let us in for sports, we change sports forever. You finally let us into music, we change that forever. Literally, the world runs on hip hop. Ella just said that the other day, and he's completely correct. There's nothing in the world that doesn't run on hip hop, which in the '80s seemed unfathomable. You know what I'm saying? But just 40 years from hip hop's inception, it literally the hip hop culture runs everything. When you say pop culture, you can say pop all you want. You know what I'm saying? We all know what you're talking about, and it ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like we know what's up here.
I
So,
mean, there's a lot of 40-year-old dudes trying to be rappers that probably would have been
right,
amazing accountants.
no question
Like
about it.
they would have
But
probably been
but you,
amazing accountants.
but you have to be able to. That's why I agree with you heavily. That I agree heavily that if you can find somebody's what they're passionate about, and a lot of times, but a lot of times people don't connect their passion. They
But
don't
that's what
connect
I
their
said
mind with
though.
the passion.
That's why I
Like they
said,
don't
like,
know how
finding
to.
out the passion and being able to monetize it. Like I'm very thankful that my mom was an artist and monetized. She on to a certain degree knew how to monetize her her passion. Like my mom sold paintings. She created a business for young people to make money, and that's how she made money. Like my mom was self-employed for
Mhm,
quite a while. Like she had her own business, and
mhm,
she was, we were making, she was making she was making decent money.
mhm,
And I saw that at a young age, and I was like, wait a minute, I can make money doing with my art. Okay, bet, cool. And like I started making plans and trying to like, and that's when in the minute I figured that out is the minute I started looking at other people who made money in the lane that I wanted to be in. That's why I
mhm.
use Todd McFarlane. because around the same time my mother had that job, Image was blowing up. And then Milestone was kind of blowing up at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, I merged the two.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wait a minute. I could have a black character and he could be. That's why I always talk about Spawn. Spawn is a black dude. You know, like most people don't know this, or for obvious reasons. I think some people know, some people just ignore it. But he's probably one of the most successful black characters of all time. You really think about it.
I knew about Spawn and I didn't know crap about comics.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I started to see him take this character and go and make a cartoon, and then make a movie, and then toys and video games. So all that stuff is in my mind while I'm watching my mother, and I'm also seeing people in the same vein. And I'm blessed because I was able to see that, because I could have grew up in a home with like a lawyer who looked at art like, hey man, stop messing around with that art and
100%.
do something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, that easily could have been me.
Yeah.
But I got lucky. But
or in a home where you didn't have that example at all from your parents.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got lucky. And then a lot of kids, they don't get lucky. So that you have a lot of kids who are really good with numbers, who could be an accountant, could be coding, could be anything, like using numbers, like engineer.
But that's another reason why teachers are special and they're not valued nearly enough in America, because teachers usually are the ones that help turn that gear on or help you connect with it. Pastors can do that as well, depending on how down to earth they are, I think. But like, there's different places. Of course, it starts at home. The parents are the primary source. That's why, Danny, what he does with his kids and what they've seen him and his wife do is going to be very important for their lives and their future. You know what I'm saying? Because they're both entrepreneurs. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a huge deal. You know what I'm saying? And to be black and to be black and to own a business and to see their mom grind the way that she does, you know what I'm saying, to make that shop successful and come up with such great ideas. You know what I'm saying? That's why I continue to praise them for the escape room. I mean, the ingenuity it took to think that up to even make that space into that in the first place. And I mean, it looks amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I told them that countless times, like, shout out to, Danny and my sis Tiana again. Like, it looks amazing. But again, it starts with the innovation to have it in your head to say, oh man, this open space right here could be an escape room. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's mind doesn't work that way.
But it's funny. It's funny to see Danny, not funny, haha, but just funny, ironic that, like, because I tell Danny all the time, like, dude, you have a store. Mm-hmm. Like, people know who Ace Blade is. Like, you got 2 podcasts. Mm-hmm. Like, you are doing what you want to be doing, and you are going where you want to be going, and you don't even realize it because you're in the grind. And that's why sometimes you got to take a step back. And because even now, like, I'm just talking for me. Like I said, I have my moments where I'm like, yeah, am I really making a dent in this thing? And then I talk to people outside who are looking at it from the outside, and they're like, dude, yada, 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 yada. And it's like, really? Like, I guess I'm so in, like, right now I'm doing pages for Heat number 2. I'm in my pages. So that's all that's like matters. Mm-hmm. And when you're in the grind, it's so hard to see the outside. It's so hard to see it. And that's why you gotta, every now and again, you gotta have somebody to encourage you. And I'm sure his wife encourages him on a daily basis. But if ain't nobody gonna encourage Danny, I'm gonna be like, Danny, man, like you hustling, you doing.
No, that's the reason why he said that he's thankful that he has, us. Because I mean, as far because what it is
Danny is ahead of where Danny is right now is kind of where I want to be. So I'm literally looking at him for the thing that he's trying to find other people to look at, which is that's why I say it's ironic, funny.
Well, what I tell him all the time is that, like, so me and Danny partnering in the way that we do is like it's just crazy the way that it happened in the first place. But it's also a difference in personalities. Like, I'm not gonna say it's a yin and a yang thing, but Danny is impulsive. So like we literally, I'm not joking. Like Danny, I literally could be like we could be riding in a car somewhere, and Danny passes a rocket ship, and for whatever freaking reason, he's like, "Bruh, I want to build a rocket," and I'm like, "Nigga, for what?" You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you want to build a rocket for what? Like, what? I'm not discouraging you. I'm just trying to understand. You know what I'm saying? And then he'd be like, I don't know. I just feel like I can build a rocket. I'd be like, all right, so we'll need this, that, and that. Dad didn't even think about none of that. Okay. I'll be like, yeah, so I'm gonna think on that, whatever, start making a list. By the time I see him again, he got like a makeshift rocket up, and I'm like, nigga, where did you get this stuff from? And why did you how much did you pay for it? Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like that's me and Danny's dynamic. So there's a lot of times where I could be standing at the edge of the cliff, like, bro, this would be a really dope idea, but I need to figure this, and that out. And I need Danny to be like, nigga, go. You know what I'm saying? And push me off the cliff. And then we just start gliding and be like, I don't know where we're going, but we're gonna figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I need that. Or sometimes he getting ready to go jump off the cliff. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? No, wait a minute now.
That's
You
good.
about
You
to drop
guys, yeah, you guys
how much
balance
money on
each
what?
other out. Yeah,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But it's needed. You know,
yeah.
it's needed in that way. And then like with Tiana, like I said, that's why I said I when I find whoever my wife is, like I said, the huge value of having a wife or women that care about you is that they don't think like you do. So you could have a goal and you could have your ideas about the goal, but when the woman that cares about you, she could be like, well, you know, you could do this, and that, and you could be like, no, I didn't. What? That is come here. Come here. You know what I'm saying? Like that, and that's what, that their partnership works in that way because like Tiana will, like I said, she can literally the escape room thing, the idea, I guarantee you, was T first, and they kicked it around together, and then next thing you know, like they just started popping off. That's just what they do. You know what I'm saying? And it's dope, and I love them for it. You know what I'm saying? And me and Wally, like we've done it on the show before. Danny will come and tell me and Wally an idea. Me and Wally know he's not gonna listen. we're 100% sure of it, but we'll tell him like our side of stuff, and he asks us for that reason because I think at this point he trusts our cautions, not because we're trying to discourage him, but he knows sometimes he needs breaks. So like he'll be like, "Bruh, I'm gonna buy an island or whatever," and me and Wally be like, "Okay, can I ask why? Never mind. It doesn't matter why. You know what I'm saying? And we start working through the logistics of how to get there. You know what that type of stuff works, but a lot of time the imbalance of it is trying to get him to sit still until we can, what I'm saying, formulate the whole thing. But like I told him, like I'm 100% sure we're gonna make it where we're going. Otherwise, I wouldn't invest in it. Like at this point, we're vested, bro. Like it's not like what I'm saying, we just over here dreaming. Like there's money spent. You know what I mean? So
Oh, I know about money spent.
yeah, you see what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
gonna work.
But yeah, I mean, you just need sometimes you gotta yeah, I know you're not supposed to
I agree, Rob.
compare. You're not supposed to compare, but sometimes you gotta compare because or not compare is the wrong word. Sometimes you just need a little bit of perspective.
Agreed. Perspective
Because
changes everything.
I I've told this story before, and I don't care. I'll say it again to people if you haven't heard of it, whatever. I'll say it again. But like, I have gone to cons and asked other people like how their sales will do, and they'll tell me their sales, and I'll be and they'll be like, man, I had a good con. I did X amount, and I'll be like, bruh, if I did that amount, I would cry in a bad way. Because I'm not but what I mean is I'm over here thinking, man, I'm not doing enough. I'm not selling enough.
Yeah,
I gotta
and
sell more. Right. That's what I'm saying. I gotta sell more. I'm always like thinking of ways and this is where me and Danny are probably go along really well, is I'm always thinking of what can I sell now? Like, how can
Yeah,
I,
what am I missing?
what am I, yeah, how can I push this more?
Mm-hmm.
And then I talk to other people and their goals will, my reality would be their goals.
Yeah.
And I think just having a minute to be like, you know what, you're doing well. And like, it's okay to like, you know what I mean? That's why, we all do it between the three of us. We be like Tokyo ish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. Like, but then I'll talk to other people who've done better than me. And then I'm like, and instead I'm like, how do I, instead of being like frustrated, I'm like, all right, what did you do?
Yeah, it's not about being frustrated as much as it is inspired. But I'm usually inspired by how people's minds work. Like I feel like life, and I used to say this about spiritual gifts when I was at my old church. One of the dopest parts of life is figuring out what people's natural gifts and purposes are, and admiring them and being inspired by them, learning from them. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be good at everything. You know what I'm saying? There are some people that are like stupid talented in a bunch of different ways. But I see people that I look up to. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going to bring that full conversation into play. But my boy Ro was picking on me about something the other day about somebody that I really just have an insane amount of respect for. Um, and look up to. You know, like Greg and Marcus, I look up to them a lot. You know what I'm saying, for what they've done already and what I know they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Tyler, I'm extreme. That's one of the dopest parts of being in the space that we're in, is because there is success for people that I actually know, actually have not one-off conversations, but like literally, like we go to a con. Greg and Marcus are right here at the table. Greg Anderson and Lisa is right over here. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. And we made connections and true relationships and friendships with people that are on the same track, that are at various levels on that track. You know what I'm
And,
saying?
and I bet you that both Gregs, Greg Ellisay and Burnham and
Yeah.
Mike are looking at other people like,
100%.
how can I get to their level? And that's
100%.
why, like, I'm never like, to me, there is no final goal, right?
No, you just keep going.
Like, there's just another level that I got to reach, and there's
Yeah.
another level and another level and another level. Because even
Because you got,
Dwayne McDuffie, I'm pretty sure he made a goal to start writing comics. Okay, he wrote comics. Then the golden milestone came along. Okay, he did that. Then
mhm.
Cartoons came along. Okay, cool. Then he did, like, Aaron Magruder, I would argue probably the same thing. You just keep finding a new goal. So
I
like,
mean, I would just,
that's why you can't look at it as, why am I not at cert X place? Because even if you get to the X place, is Y. And like, you know what I mean? Like, or you're
all
not
it,
at B or C or D or whatever. You just,
all it was with Danny
no,
at
I
that
get what
moment.
it was.
Yeah, because you know what I'm saying,
We all have it.
like because me, yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying, and it's different times, there's different triggers. But like I've told Danny, I said, bro, you went from not having a TikTok account to making one on some nonsense, just like to look at videos and like mess with your kids, to having almost he'll probably pass 100,000 followers on TikTok, maybe before the year is over. You know what I'm saying? You went from zero to 75 something, like a little bit over a year and a half. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Just
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
not by you being out here faking anything, not by you making stuff up, but you just being who you already are. You know what I'm saying? And putting it out there for people to see it, and people attached to what's real. You know, like that's one of the biggest things that means the most to me as I create in art, is that people can feel the authenticity of whatever it is that I'm doing. To me, that's the basis of everything. Authenticity to me is one of the biggest character traits that I look for in anything, whether it's a movie, whether it's like, that's why I love art, because like when you hear a singer sing, you know the difference in between somebody that that just is God blessed with talent, and somebody that feels that thing, what they're singing in their soul. It don't have to be gospel. It could be God knows when it is gospel though, it's special. You know what I'm saying? But even if it's not connected to anything religious, and it's just, I remember when I used to watch, is it Sing Off? I think Sing Off, where they used to have the acapella groups. Um, what was the name of that group that won first? I remember when Sean Stockman was talking about. It was Afro Blue. That was the group. They had a bad week the week before, and they did a song called "I Need You Now," and I remember it was Sean Stockman, Sarah Barry Alice, and I can't remember who the other person was, but they were talking about the fact that, like, they were crying, people in the crowd were crying, not because the song. I'm not saying the song's not great. The song is great, but when you hit a pocket or a niche of something and people feel it, that's the stuff that changes. That can change somebody's whole life. For me, that is the number one. That's why my top goal was the legacy and making sure I put the inspirational part in there, because I want to be able to tell a story, whether it's the stuff that I've been through with my son. I'm writing a book for that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm writing that because it's not even about me making money and being famous as much as it is. There is a parent that has already that's currently right now as we speak in the moment that I've been to 13 years ago, or they will be. You know what I'm saying? And it is extremely hard to go through that and have to have those type of conversations about your child, you know what I'm saying, about any loved one, but especially your child, you know what I'm saying? And I hate when I have to go to the hospital and I'm walking onto the floor and I see this parent, and you can almost tell, like I could write a story of their face alone, of this is the first time they've been through this. They're scared, they're shocked or whatever. And I want to go to them and be like, yo, I promise you I understand where where you're from or whatever, and really be able to sit down and talk to them to try to help them through it. But at the same time, if you do that, they could think you don't know how that's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could think you're weird, the hospital could think you're weird, or you could bless and change their life forever. And again, it's not about me with that. It's just me being able to be there for them to help them move up. And that's why I appreciate that's why I said the Rock Nation brunch thing for me would be huge, because the people in that room have already and are still planning to do far more of that. And to be able to be in that room, in those conversations with excitement, yeah, you're going to make money in some of those endeavors. And some of them, it's not even about the money. You know what I'm saying? Like with Jay-Z getting these people out of prison and stuff like that, he's not making money on that. You know what I'm saying? That's just money. That's just money he put out there to go do that because he knows what the system is like. You see what I'm saying? But he don't talk about it. You see what I'm saying? That's the type of stuff
Yeah.
that's life changing. And
But I
that's the
do
type
want
of
to say this though.
stuff.
I want to say this to anybody who's listening, because if you have a goal, right? Like, if you quit, you failed, right? Like, if you quit, you're a failure.
Yeah, that's the only
But
way
if
to
you
fail.
fail, that doesn't
Or quit.
mean that you're a failure. If that makes any sense. Like, I can
That's
fail on
100%.
something. I have failed on Kickstarters. I have failed on multiple things. I keep telling people there is a the first comic book I did was trash. It was not good. Art was iffy. Coloring wasn't great. Dialogue wasn't great. It was not a good book. I did fail at it, but I kept going. Right. So, like, but if I quit, then I'm a failure.
That's facts.
But I can fail you could fail without being a failure. Like, I could fail at X, but if I keep going, eventually, if I put enough work into it and I put enough effort and heart and sweat and tears, some success is going to come. Now, it depends on what your definition of success is.
That's
because
fact.
for me, originally, doing the first Heat book, success was just somebody outside of my family and friends buying the book. That was like big for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first time somebody who I did not know from Adam bought my book.
Yeah, that crap is amazing feeling.
But then it became, okay, what's the next success? What's the next level? of success, and then you got to take it to that level. So I just want to I want to encourage, and that's why I do a Stoke podcast. This is quick publicity, but the point of a Stoke podcast is not just for me to get on and talk. I got this show to do that. I can do that on this show. But a Stoke podcast is, to me, is to encourage people who are looking to do something, anything, and give them stories of people who have done something similar, and so that they can understand the level of drive, of want, of need to just be relatively successful. Like, I've talked to people who are very successful, relatively whatever, all across the spectrum. But like, you can't quit though. Like, I don't like, if you want to do something, if you want to make a comic book, you keep making a comic book until somebody buys it, until it's good enough that somebody buys it. If you want to make a movie, hey man, be safe, Sean.
Oh
be
yeah,
safe,
bro, be safe, man.
Everybody in Florida, man, be safe, man.
And Sean, you can always, just go to the YouTube and you can catch episode 60, so you can catch the whole thing. And with that being said, not to cut you off, I just want to say it while I'm thinking about it. Don't forget Agents of Geekdom. I think I have it up here. Agents of Geekdom. Make sure you go on YouTube and follow that channel on YouTube, because we will be, I think 2-3 weeks from now, we'll be switching over to doing the show on Agents of Geekdom's platform on YouTube, and going forward, that's where we'll be streaming the show from.
But just don't be afraid to like take the shot, man, because there are a lot of people out here that are like, I'm gonna do it when everything's right. It'll never be right. It'll never be. Everything will never be right.
You about to get me on a spiritual tip with that one.
Like, it will never be right. Like, I was in the middle of, like, I told people all the story at the time. I had just gotten engaged with my wife, and I was like, yo, I've been waiting so long to do this comic book, and I just felt like if I didn't do it before we got married, it might never get done, because then you got to use your energies, to be a husband and everything. And I was just like, I need to do this now. So like, just don't wait. Whatever it is you want to do, if you want to write a book, if you want to, start a business, if you want to do anything worth doing, like, just start, man. Like, the first step is the hardest thing to do.
Like, you never lie.
The first thing to do, if you want to make a business making jewelry, just the first time you start, you got to make that a habit, and then you got to have maniacal drive, like, to the point where even if your friends could be like, yeah, you shouldn't be doing that, and you just go look them in the face and be like, this is what I want to do. Because the same people who will tell you, and I'm speaking from experience, the same people who would tell you that you will not be successful at this, you do it hard enough and you put enough drive and enough work in there, same people will be buying your stuff, or asking you about it, or telling other people that they know you, or whatever.
23.
So like, that's what I'm telling people, and I'm preaching a little bit, but I feel like Danny put me in an encouraging mood with that. And I'm just saying, like, I've run into so many instances of people, and I ain't calling out names because it really don't matter, who questioned and doubted, like, why was I doing a comic book? What am I doing? Blah 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 blah. I've had somebody tell me I would never have a comic book. No one would care. And I'm here, and I'm speaking from experience that, like, that same person just bought a book. Like, that same person bought a book. So whatever it is, man, now is the day to do it. Not tomorrow, not next week, because we don't know if we're going to be here next week. We don't know what your life is going to be like next week. Like I saw this thing today. My friend posted it. And he was talking about how like when you begin to do something good and it begins to take hold, that means you're favored by God, right? But then it was like you're also favored by Satan because he gonna take that time to come at you. Like that's when he's gonna come at you because you on the right path. Like in my opinion, when you're on the wrong path, it generally becomes a little, it's easy to go down the wrong path. That's how I feel. Like there are consequences from being on the wrong path, but it's easy. But yeah, like just like do it. Like do it. I have these conversations with people all the time, and that's how I know I'm on the right path because people are asking me about it. Like, how do I do blah 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 blah, and then I just give them the same encouragement. Just do it, man. And like when you do it, don't look at other people and compare what you're doing. Like you could look at other people to find out how to do it better and ask questions, but you can absolutely cannot look at other people and be like, why is my thing not where they are? Because you don't know their struggle, you don't know their road, you don't know what they've been through, you don't know, they could have been, they probably was grinding way before you. You might be farther along, than they were at that same time. So you don't know. So just look for, like I tell you, I meet, how many times, Morgan, do I ask you and Danny, what is this thing that y'all got here? What printer are you using? Who does your shirts? Whatever. Like I'm not comparing what I do. I use it as a competitive person. I'll be like, man, like Danny dropped ace blade number 6. All right, let me get to work. Like that's me kind of amping myself up to encourage myself to work. It's not me going, sucking my teeth at what Danny's doing. It's more like, let me get on my grind too. But I would never go, man, Danny's and Morgan, they got this, man. Why is my thing not working? Because I don't know. I don't know. Danny been doing this 10 years. I've been doing it for what, 6, 7? Like
well, that's what I'm saying. Like everybody's got a process, and like you said, like you don't know what they've been doing to get where they are. Like everybody wants to be Steph. You know what I'm saying? He didn't inspire a whole generation of people shooting from half court. Are you willing to put in the hours that Steph's put in shooting them shots? Like I can't even imagine how many countless hours that dude's been out there and how many shots he's put up in order to be able to do that without even blinking. I will say another part of that, and this is why to me it's important to find whatever your talent, your niche or your purpose is because everybody is not meant to do everything. That's a reality. You know what I'm saying? So being able to be, to me, one of the most interesting things, like I said before, is figuring out what you're passionate about. And a lot of times, whatever you're passionate about, you don't have any control over it, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? You've been doing it, whether you realize it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like whether you realize it or not, you've probably always been doing it. And you just didn't connect. Oh my God, I am passionate about this, or you don't know how to make money from that thing. You know what I'm saying? Um, exactly. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be Steph until it's time to be Steph. Everybody want to be Kobe and yell Kobe when you shooting that paper ball into the trash can. But Kobe got up at 3:00 in the morning to go work out. You know what I'm saying? And he got up at 3:00 in the morning because he knew everybody else would get up at 5:30. You know what I'm saying? Like Kobe literally had that type of maniacal attitude.
that's what I meant. That's what I'm saying. That's why I look at people who are great. Yeah, like one of Danny's bucket lists was that he wanted to be known as being great for something.
Being the best in the world.
Being the best. And in my mind, I'm like, to be the best in the world means you got to find whoever the best in the world is, and you got to outwork them. Yeah. Like that's really what it is. Like if I'm a football player, if I'm a quarterback, and I want to be the best quarterback in the world, all right, what's Tom Brady doing? All right, I got to do better preparation, better training, better everything than Tom Brady. Like, you got to find that standard. I've been chasing Todd McFarlane my whole life. There's a reason why I bring him up. Todd, I've been chasing Todd. Now I'm chasing Robert Kirkman. I've been chasing these dudes who did it right. Honestly, on a lesser level, I'm chasing Greg Burnham and why I forget his name, the artist Marcus. I want to call him Michael. I'm chasing them. Like them, I remember when I was at Dragon Con and when I met them, and they had like crowd around their table.
Yep.
And
in
I'm
Atlanta,
like,
they always gonna have an insane one. You can forget about it. They have one wherever. They have one wherever they go, but Atlanta, that's home. So listen.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I saw that and I'm like, okay, that's what I gotta be. Like, how do I get there? And I know how hard they work.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I know how hard they work. So I'm like, all right, I gotta work that hard. To the best of my ability, I gotta work that hard. And that's all it is. You gotta find whoever it is in the vein that you are trying to find, and you gotta go, okay, I gotta work that hard. I gotta work harder than that. If I want to be better than that, I gotta work harder than that. Them dudes work. Greg Ellisay works. Danny works. Like, all that TikTok stuff, I make fun of him, but because I can't do it. But I mean, Danny works. You know what I mean?
That's the blessing. But see, the reason that works for Danny is because Danny is naturally, because he's being authentic. He's naturally wired to get like I said, one of Danny's. I think a lot of times your biggest strength can also be one of your biggest weaknesses.
That's usually how it works.
And for Danny, he's impulsive, and that's amazing in a lot of different ways, and it can be detrimental in a lot of different ways too. But impulsive people, especially that have great creative minds, are perfect for TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Like, Danny will TikTok walk into the mailbox. You know what I'm saying? Like, walk into the mailbox and that crack might blow up. His first viral one that I can remember is when he was like, he just said, he made one where he was standing outside and he was like, if I make this dunk, y'all gotta go buy my Ace Blade #1. And then he went and and it looks terrible. and he missed the dunk. And then he just, you know what I'm saying, he looked back up the goal for a second. He was like, never mind, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? And he cut the camera off. And that crap went viral. It blew up. You know what I'm saying? And mad people went, because I had just paid for the website renewal. I just paid for the website renewal, but traffic wise, we didn't have traffic on a daily basis, on a regular basis at all. After that, our traffic increased like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Between that, like, the video that he did, I see the analytics on everything that we do for YouTube. And the video that he just did for the Woman King video, and he won't even like shooting for the stars or nothing. He just being real about it and talking. He did the Woman King video. This last week alone, we got 70 plus subscribers off of that video. Just that one. You know what I'm saying? We've gotten a good amount of subscribers off of this show. You know what I'm saying? And that's a blessing. Like, I don't even know that I was thinking about doing it for that reason. I wanted to do it because, you know, we had good conversations. Me and Danny have good conversations. I'm like, I love good conversations. You know what I'm saying? So that was the reason that I wanted to do the show in the first place. But at the same time, yeah, why not? You know what I'm saying? Why can't we monetize this and make money doing what we love, what we would naturally be doing anyway? We would do it anyway, so why not make money doing it? You know what I mean?
But yeah, I got to roll.
Yeah.
But that's what I just wanted to encourage people. That's really what I wanted to do, especially off of that. Is just, you know, whatever you're gonna do it to the best of your ability. And I don't care if you fell down 49 times, you gotta get up 50. because that 50th time might be the time where whatever it is pops off. And especially for Danny, like I don't want him to like, because it's easy to get burned out. It's so easy to get burned out.
Well, the biggest thing
and
is,
and you just don't. We are on the right path, Danny. We are on the right path, man. All of
man,
us right
just
now.
Justin Bieber freaking was inspirational in that way because that dude literally got found off a freaking YouTube video. Just a random one. You know what I'm saying? He put up something on YouTube, somebody saw it and discovered him. Like, hey, I should see what's up with this kid. And now he's still making insane amounts of money. You never know how many no's it takes before the yes.
Yeah.
That's another reason. You know what I mean? So just keep, you know what I'm saying, keep grinding, and especially if you're passionate at it. If you have a fire in your heart for whatever it is you're doing, again, you probably already have a talent for this, and God's giving you that gift to monetize it, to fund your life and change everybody else's too. So all of our creative friends, I love y'all, man, because y'all are inspiring. Y'all are inspiration to
Yeah.
me in multiple ways. The ones that are that I'm chasing, the ones that, you know what I'm saying, we're on even par, the ones that are just now getting started, whatever, you know what I'm saying. We all here to inspire one another. From Sebastian with his HBO show, you know what I'm saying, Tyler, I don't know who the deal signed with, you know what I'm saying, but getting the
Hey man,
antagonist.
shout out to Michael Watson, man. I'm chasing you too, man. Real
Yeah,
talk, man. I've been chasing Mike
Mike is
since
a
I
beast.
met Michael Watson. I've been chasing you, sir. I will catch you, but you
Mike
probably
Mike
will be gone. You probably be at the next level by that time, but that's
Mike
all
is
right.
another beacon of creativity and putting in work. That, you know what I'm saying? Like when he gets the creativity, the idea in his head, he found a way to get it done, and he's blessed to lead people because he finds other people to help him do it.
That's right.
I don't
But
even know
y'all
if he's
have a good
paid.
evening, man. I gotta go. So y'all be good. Keep working. Keep grinding.
Man, I'm glad I was even able to do the show in the first place because I didn't think I'd be able to get on because I didn't have internet, and little man got discharged from the hospital. So I'm glad I made it. I'm glad Javon and Danny were able to get the show started before I got here. And yeah, like Javon said, man, like I can't say that enough. Like all of us are here to inspire one another in one way, shape, or form. And that's honestly my biggest, my bucket list. That's the biggest thing I want to do is leave a legacy. Leave a legacy that can inspire others. And hopefully change somebody else's life based on what I've been through too. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to do that for somebody else, tell them, yeah, I've been there before, and then help them, move to a different level of their life. So, yeah, of course, bro. Javon was on one, so I was letting him cook. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure me and Danny both have things to say, and we could definitely do a whole panel on that and have, what I'm saying. I'm sure I could get in touch with Greg and both Gregs, Tyler, Afua, Sebastian, um, you know, people that we look up to in this industry, or I do, people that I look up to in this industry, for the successes that they've had. Rodney Barnes, like, there's so many dope people that I met Brian Stilfreeze in the flesh, bro. Like I talked to him face to face, like with the Heroes Called in Charlotte. Shauna Lawson, uh, or CC the Geek on IG. Lori Foster with UHS, man. You know what I'm saying? They just did a $50,000 Kickstarter. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think she'll care if I say that, but like, me and Lori talk on a regular basis, for semi regularly, I guess. And you know, she had a similar moment to Danny where it's like, you know what I mean? Like just hoping this next thing works and just hoping this next thing's popping. And I told her, like, Lori, you are one of the most talented people I've met, especially in this game. I have no doubt that you're going to smash something out of the park. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, so whatever y'all got coming up next, I'm quite sure it's going to pop off. And then lo and mother freaking behold, the next month, she launches that Kickstarter with Hannibal. and they destroyed that Kickstarter. You know what I'm saying? They literally were on the front page on Kickstarter. You know what I'm saying? Before that campaign ended, like that last week, they were on the front page of Kickstarter, not just for comics, the front page period. You know what I'm saying? Kat, what she's doing with Kickstarter and all the other ventures that she got. There's so many people that we've met and connected with that are inspirations in this industry, and even outside of the industry that know other people outside of the industry. You know what I'm saying? But the overall goal is whatever you're talented at, whatever your purpose for. You know what I'm saying? Connecting your talent with your purpose and then connecting that to your money is a huge goal in life. It's a huge life changing thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that I reconnected with mine. I mean, I loved it when I was little, and I stopped doing it because I didn't want to get picked on anymore. Because what I'm saying, I used to sing, I wrote, uh, I had the artistic stuff that I always did, and I love to do it. But the older I got, like somewhere in between, I was like, man, these motherfuckers about to beat me up. And my grades were good at the same time. It's just another reason for people to pick on me. And I let that work. And then I reconnected with it back through Danny. You know what I'm saying? Like when he wrote the Ace Blade book, that I was like, yo, working on some of my own. And then when he wrote the Ace Blade book and published it, I was like, what? You can publish books? What? You know what I'm saying? And it just opened up that thing. And then, our partnership grew from there. And, the stuff that we put on our legacy list, I believe I can attain all of those things. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. I don't see any reason why I can't. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Peele probably had people tell him and himself tell himself that he couldn't do Get Out. You're known as a funny guy on a skit show that was extremely influential. Probably the most influential skit show post the Chappelle Show. Key and Peele was. Um, and you're known as a funny guy on this show, and then you write a horror movie script. It's your first. They did Keanu. Him and Keegan Michael Key did Keanu. That was the first thing they did post um, uh, Key and Peele, the show. And then your first written, directed, and produced movie. I don't remember if he produced it himself or if he just wrote it and directed it. But regardless, your first movie is Get Out, and literally is a legendary movie in the genre and just in general. Literally is legendary. First one out the box. But then you also have, I'm telling you about some of my inspirations. Jordan, everybody knows how much I love Jordan Peele. Then you have Tommy Adeyemi that wrote Children of Blood and Bone, Children of Virtue and Vengeance. And I don't know if she's made the announcement title for the next book. But she talked about the fact that like she had written and submitted like 3 or 4 different books before Children of Blood and Bone, or maybe it was that she went through a bunch of revisions for Children of Blood and Bone before she got a deal, and then she gets somebody to read it, she gets a deal, and then that turns into this huge thing, and now she's got a freaking deal. She had a deal with George Lucas to get the series made for movies. You know what I mean? But she talks about the grind that it takes behind closed doors and being able to do it. I was listening to Tyler Perry earlier today, and it's on some. I don't even know if he was humble bragging or if he was just speaking straight about it. But he was talking about like he bought for his 40th birthday. He bought an Allen. I forgot where he bought an Allen somewhere. It's on his 40th birthday. But when you fly there, if the guy that owns the cell tower on Nets Island or something like that doesn't have a cell tower on, there's no cell phone. You know what I'm saying? Which is perfect for him. So he goes there. I think he said he takes like 2 weeks. He goes there. All the distractions are gone. Uh, he writes a bunch of seasons, or a bunch. I think he said he wrote like 20 episodes of one show while he's there. Then he chills for a week, drinks, wilds out, does whatever he wants to do. Then later on, he flies to Wisconsin. He's got a house out there. He goes to Wisconsin, goes out in the lonesome, out in the wilderness somewhere. You know what I'm saying? This house gets away from everything, writes another 20 episodes of like the Oval or whatever, sends it back, whatever. Then once he gets done with that process, he chills, he decompresses real quick, gets back to Atlanta. Then they shoot everything, and then he just keeps it rolling, and the shows are successful. Everybody can't do that, but everybody needs to learn what their process is and what works for them. I know for me, I've had to figure that out, and I know if I'm trying to write and I'm near my creature comforts, I can do it sometimes, but it's hard. It's easier for me to like literally drive somewhere, like sit somewhere in the car. I write on Google Docs on my phone a whole lot of time. The whole Lumberjacks #3 script I did on my phone. Lumberjacks #2 too. I wrote both of those on my phone on Google Docs. Uh, Me and Danny did an entire short film, To Kill a Stranger on Google Docs. We just wrote it back and forth. This next season that y'all getting ready to start on October 1st for the Super Shorts podcast season 4, we're naming it Reparations. We wrote that on Google Docs. You know what I'm saying? On our phones for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Like we just wrote in different colors so we know who was writing where. And we came up with this story and, went chapter by chapter. And then I was like, let's get a voice actress in here to really bring life to this villain that we created. And I'm very happy with the season. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait for people to hear that first episode. I hope it hits the way that I hope for it to hit. It was one of my favorite things that I've written, if not my favorite. And the voice actress destroyed her part. You know what I mean? So, but learning your process and what works for you is a huge deal. Like that's what I took away from what Tyler was saying because I can't buy an Allen yet. You know what I mean? But at some point, maybe I want to buy an Allen. Maybe you know what I mean. If I could buy an Allen, just work 2 weeks straight and be away. I agree. It would be lit, but at the same time, it ain't gonna be cakewalk. It's not gonna be a cakewalk either, though, because it's still a balance. You know what I mean? So, but that definitely would be dope to be able to get away from everything and just let your creativity kind of fall out how it falls out. Like, but that's why I like to see how different people work and what works for them. And over time, you figure out what works for you too, and it just evolves too. Because I know God knows it has for me. Um, Shoot, I used to write with I didn't write with any like background. I didn't write with any what do I call that? It's not a brainstorming sheet. I'm trying to think of what I call it. Uh, I didn't write with any of that. I just come off the dome, write it, splash it against the page, then go back and kind of revise it over time, revise it over time. And now, if I could at least outline, that's what it is. If I could I'll at least start from my outline, give myself a whole bunch of space to go where I want to go within their outline, but I need to remember at least what my original thought was on it. And God knows where me and Danny started with reparations, the thought process versus where we ended, it's so much better. But it wouldn't have been that if we hadn't had the outline in the beginning. But that's just us, you know what I'm saying? Like what we realized works for us as we create new stories and try to fill out this universe. Um, so figuring out what works for you is important too in that process. You know what I mean? And like I said, if people want it, I mean, I can reach out to Greg and them and see if they're not willing to come on for the show. Wally too. I'm sure Wally is because Wally's just an inspirational person altogether, and he's done a lot of incredible stuff already. You know what I'm saying? Not counting what we're gonna do together, because we got stuff that we're working on too. Me, Wally, and Danny. Afua, Sebastian, Tyler, like the people both Greg Burnham and Greg Anderson, Lise, Marcus Williams, TJ Sterling. Um, like there's a lot of people out here that, I mean, like I said, Mike, I'm saying, Mike Watson, that you look up to, you use for inspiration, and you just chase it. You know what I'm saying? You go after it, and we'll succeed together. So when I get invited to the Rock Nation brunch, I'll make sure to preface episode 60 of this show. You know what I'm saying? And while I take my picture with Beyonce and Jay-Z, like Jay-Z's over here, Beyonce's over there, and you know what I mean? And I can just be like, and the Obamas are right here, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe they're behind us or something, like doing this. And I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like it'd be a great moment in my life, that's all. But yeah, let me stop rambling. So we have the next few topics that we have in for what we're going to do for the list. I will post them. I will post them as we go. The poll is up. Make sure that you remember Agents of Geekdom. Go on to YouTube right now. Go on to YouTube right now and type in Agents of Geekdom. There is a YouTube. Matter of fact, I can pull it up at the same time. 1 second. One second. Yeah. All right. Now I'm gonna share this so y'all can see it. Share screen. Major the Kingdom. Share. So as y'all can see, it's right here. Go to Agents of Geekdom, hit that subscribe. As you can see, I'm already subscribed. Hit that subscribe and the bell, and that will be where in the next 3 weeks we'll be transitioning from streaming from here, my personal one, to streaming from there. And we're gonna make it do what it do every day of the week. Right now, the way things are set up is it's pretty much like a network that we're all combining to go up under. So UHS has their show on Mondays. That's Sarah White and Lori Foster. Tuesdays is us, of course, same time slot, 8 p.m. Top Five Live, but we'll be streaming it there. Wednesday is dang. Oh, Wednesday is Mike, Chat and Draw. Thursday, I had to look at the schedule, but I know there's a show every day of the week. I'm trying to remember who Thursday is. I know Friday is Five Star Fridays with Tony Clapper. Saturdays is Danny and Kyron with the Four Tales podcast, and Sunday I want to say is another one that Mike has, but I'll get the official schedule and make sure that I get that posted. But I want y'all to make sure that you go ahead and subscribe here so that you don't miss anything. And once we switch over, that you're already caught up. We still are very extremely thankful for everybody that's been. I can show you guys how much progress that we made. We're up to 420 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? On Fourth Wall Comments, and we can't thank y'all enough for that. Y'all were a big part of that, and just people following us and continuing to believe in what we're doing. So thank y'all, man. Thank y'all so much. I want to make sure I show that so we can put it on the screen for everybody to see it. Um, uh, so people that watch later on, you'll see it too, and you'll be able to know what to do, what to type in, show the whole process, so you can go ahead and follow it. So I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, we already got the other shows. The other list topics. We gotta figure out what order we're gonna do the ones coming up in, but there's some good ones in there. So y'all get ready for those. Make sure you bring your list. Subscribe if you haven't already for whatever reason, that don't even make no sense. Four Ball Comments and Agents of Geekdom. And we'll see y'all next Tuesday. Oh, Little Man's Home. So thanks for the prayers, good vibes, and all that everybody's saying. We appreciate you. All right.